Hello, and the Premier League is coming up and loads of new kits have been released, and in today's video I'm going to be ranking all of the home Premier League kits. I'm going to be starting off in alphabetical order. We're going to be starting off AFC Bournemouth kit. Now looking at this one, I don't think it's properly been released. I think it's a leaked kit, but looking at it, I quite like it. It's got a bit of retro vibes. It's got the classic Bournemouth colours, which is always a good sign. The black and red, it looks pretty good. The hint of that line, that golden line in between the black and red, I think is really good. If it didn't have that, I would definitely rank this lower down. The one flaw I do have is probably the Umbro logo. I would much prefer it to be white than gold. I feel like white will pop more on red. In fact, I'm going to show you a comparison to the Umbro logo looking white and the Umbro logo looking gold. Tell me in the comments, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the white Umbro logo or the gold Umbro logo? But to what I'm going to rank it, I think it's quite a neat kit. I think there's barely anything wrong with it. And if this is actually the kit, I'm quite happy with Bournemouth's kit. A bit retro, quite nice. I'm going for a solid B ranking. Now the next one in line, which controversially could be the first one in line in terms of alphabetical order, because some people say AFC, some people don't say AFC with Bournemouth, but I chose to say AFC. But Arsenal is next, and I'm really hyped for an Arsenal kit, because usually, every year in my opinion, Arsenal bring out absolute banger kits. This year, they brought out this kit, and to start things off, it doesn't look too bad. The front of it, I definitely like that everything's white. Again, I talked about having white on red was really good with the Bournemouth kit, and I do like that. That is really, really good, and I think it's neat, and I really like they've got the Gunners logo, just a gun. I believe they haven't done that for quite a while. I feel like it's something new, it's something fresh with the logo. In my opinion, I think it would look better if they continued the blue and white stripe thing all the way around the collar there, and it would just look complete. Overall, it does look quite neat. I don't have many flaws other than the collar a bit. This little thing, whatever it is here, little lines around the sides, I'm not really a fan of that, but it looks okay. But I think it looks better without it. But overall, it looks a decent kit, like Arsenal normally does. I don't think it's their best kit that they've ever done, but I'm going to give it a solid B-. But that's my thoughts on the Arsenal kit. Moving on to the next one. It is Aston Villa. It's got a very similar design to Arsenal's design, to be honest, with the stripes here and the collar not going all the way round. It's very similar in that sense, and it is also Adidas. And obviously, Aston Villa does have a new badge. It's like a polished version of the 22/23 badge. I actually prefer it to the 22/23 badge, but the 23/24, I actually quite like that badge. But that badge wasn't too bad. I think it is an upgrade from the 22/23 one, and it does look good on this kit, and it does look overall good. I feel like the positioning of everything is good. I feel like the burgundy on the light blue really does work. I just love the colors overall. Really nice kit. I'm gonna give it a solid A. Very promising with Aston Villa. Love the kit. Moving on to the next one, it's Brentford's. Obviously, it is a 23/25 kit because they did not change the kit, which does then make this kit a bit worse in that sense because it's not a new, fresh kit. I've seen this kit throughout the entire season. It's always good to have a fresh kit, but obviously there is a reason why Brentford do this, and I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, Brentford do this because they want the fans to save their money so they don't have to buy a kit every single year, which is thoughtful by Brentford. But overall, in terms of ranking this kit, it's kind of got this fade going on at the bottom. Overall, it's okay. You know, I'm not saying it's fantastic, but it's okay. I am giving it a C. Moving on to Brighton's kit, and first thoughts, it looks amazing. I mean, out of the kits I've reviewed at the moment, this is the best. I love it so much. It looks so premium. The blue stripes that they have on it is really good. It's got a really nice shiny blue, I'm gonna call it, and it's got like a nice gradient because they've got a stripe, and then within that they've got a thin stripe, and it like fades from white at the bottom into like a bluish, and I feel like that just looks good in my opinion. It looks premium. It's neat. The collar goes all the way round. I'm happy with the collar. It's got the Brighton colors. I feel like the blue is a very nice blue. I love it so much. I'm gonna give it an A+. Fantastic. Moving on to Chelsea's kit. I really do like the badge. I like the orange around the badge. I think that looks premium. I'm gonna use that word a lot. It looks premium, and they've gone for something wacky and new. You know, I don't think I've really seen a kit done like this before. They're going for something new. It's got like a wavy bluish look, And you know what? The badge and the Nike tick looks good. It doesn't have a front sponsor. I don't know what their sponsor's gonna be, but it yet doesn't have a front sponsor, so maybe that might change my opinion on this. I'm gonna say I like it. I'm gonna say just about. I think it's new, it's wacky, it does look good. I'm looking at it right now. The collar goes all the way around, a simple blue. It's got a nice wavy line. I'm gonna give this B. I'm gonna give it B. I like the kit, but moving on to the next kit is the Crystal Palace kit made by Macron. You know what? I do actually like that Macron logo. And I do like the Net 88 logo there of the sponsor. It white, it seems bold, it seems good. This kit overall seems quite bold. Because if you look at it, it's not the traditional blue and red Crystal Palace. Well, it is blue and red stripes. It's got multiple eagles along the stripes to make up the stripe. And that is unique. That's new. We haven't really seen anything like that. There's something about it. I don't know what it is, but it looks a bit odd. But it could be because it's different. It's another different kit, like the Chelsea one. The collar, it's got a weird triangle. I think that looks a bit weird. That's the only really fault I've got about this kit. Overall, it looks very good. Really pleased with the Crystal Palace kit. I'm going to give this a solid B+. I think a B+ is a decent rating, maybe even an A. But moving on to the next one, it is Everton's kit. And looking at it, it's got no faults. I cannot see a fault. You know, I cannot see a fault on this kit. It's got just fully blue. But more importantly, in the central parts of it, it's got a nice pattern. It's got multiple, like, curved lines. Some of them got dashes through them. I don't know if there's any relevance to those patterns in it, but it just looks good. Overall, that Everton kit looks clean. The sponsor is white, the stake.com, and the Castor badge is white. I'm happy it's white and it's not randomly red or something for some reason. And the collar goes all the way around. It's beautiful, it's clean, it's fantastic. Everton, I'm giving you an A. I think it's a fantastic kit, one of the best kits. Moving on to the next one, the 9th kit that I'm going to review. It is Fulham's kit now. It's got a collar. It's got an okay collar. It's got a weird sponsor on the arm, on the sleeve here. It's got like a red sponsor. That looks ugly in my opinion. It looks ugly. And these red things here, obviously Fulham has to have a bit of red in it. And I understand that. We did see this with the Arsenal one, and I'm not really a fan of it, to be honest. It's a plain Fulham kit. If you look at that, that's Fulham, isn't it? If you get rid of the badge, you know it's going to be Fulham. The sponsor looks fine in my opinion. It's not a terrible kit. Obviously got the Adidas black things there. The collar does have a little white stripe in it. Overall, it looks, I would say it looks decent. It looks okay. I'm going to give this a C+. I think there could be a few improvements. But other than that, a C+ for Fulham's kit. Moving on to the newly promoted Ipswich Town. This kit is smart. Obviously got the Ed Sheeran sponsor, which they had last season as well. I'm going to point out the flaw first, you know, get the negatives gone. The Umbro badge, why is that red? That just seems off. For the entire kit, that red just seems off. If they made that white, I'm going to compare it with the complete white Umbro compared to the white and red one to see which one's better. And in my opinion, it does look better with the white. I don't really understand the red, but I have been quite negative about this kit. I'm going to get onto the positives. I think the white stripes going down, the thin white stripes look really clean. There's nothing off about that. The collar goes all the way around, and overall, just that collar being that bit darker to break up the colours from that normal blue, the main blue, looks really good. It really does look good. I love the collar. It does have a strange badge kind of circling the Ipswich Town badge. Absolutely love it. Superb. I'm going to give this a solid A. Well done, Ipswich Town. I'm being very positive about these kits, but I actually do like a lot of the kits up to this point. Let's look at number 11. It is Leicester City returning to the Premier League. You look at this, and this is a classic Leicester City kit. There's not much change. It's classic Leicester City colours. It's got the white stripes here. On the sides, it does have like a nice pattern. On the sides there, if you can see it, it's got a nice little pattern there. And I really do like that pattern. It separates it. I know that's on the side of the kit. Maybe they could do something better on the front of the kit to make it better. Got nice little gold stripe here. I don't think it's as bad as maybe people think it is. I understand that it's a classic, it's boring, classic Leicester City, but there is some unique things like there. It's got a nice little gold thing here. I don't think it's the worst kit, but it's not fantastic. I'm going to give it a C+. Could do with a bit more difference to other Leicester City kits, but other than that, yeah, decent. Moving on to Liverpool's home kit, and looking at this, and looking at what other people said on it, A lot of people don't like it, and I can see where they're coming from. What is that pattern? I'm sorry, but that pattern does not look good. I understand that it's inspired by an older kit. I think back in 1984, they had a very similar kit with the gold Liverpool badge and the gold branding, whatever the branding was back then. But here there's a gold Nike tick. But we take more of a closer look into the patterns. I don't know whether there's any reasoning for the patterns looking like that in there, but it just looks off. That looks awful. I'm sorry, but it does look awful. And the collar looks like it's been chopped off, evenly chopped off, and it does look quite fat. The collar, I don't like the collar. I don't like the pattern. Overall, I'm not too much of a fan of it. I'm going to give it a D. I'm going to go one down, a D. Moving on to the next one. It is Manchester City's kit, and I think it's fantastic. It is superb. I might be just a fan of the colour light blue. I really like light blue, and I really like it with white on top of it. It looks really, really good, and more importantly, you take more of a closer detail on what's written on the sleeve here, and what's written on here is actually Manchester's area code 0161, which makes this shirt even better. And overall, I feel like that you know, on the sleeve, on the collar, it breaks it up from the light blue, and it's really good. It does have an odd stripe coming from here. That's the only negative. I'm not really a fan of that stripe. It just looks a bit off, a bit out of place, but other than that, it looks like a beautiful kit. I love the 0161. It looks fantastic. I love the white on light blue. I love this kit. I'm giving an A+, another A+. Absolutely love it. Moving on to the other Manchester club. I'm pretty sure it like starts off a bit dark at the bottom, then goes into a light theme. Snapdragon, that sponsor, I'm not really a fan of. It looks okay. I'll give it that. It's got, again, Adidas kits in the Premier League. I've got this stripe thing like the Fulham one, like the Arsenal one. I'm not really a fan of that, although it doesn't look too bad on the Man United kit. It's got white stripes here. Again, it's really annoying. The collar, yet again, I'm going to say it again, it's red here, but here, it's got stripes. It's got stripes. If that stripes, the red and white stripes, went all the way around the collar, it would be better. Overall, it's clean, it's simple. It's not amazing. I'm going to give it a C. I'm going to give it a solid C. I think it's okay. An okay kit. Not the best, but okay. Moving on to Newcastle United's kit. And that one looks very similar to this one right here. Now, this kit is actually my favourite Newcastle kit ever. It does have like 3 big noticeable stripes, which is very similar to the 2002 and 2003 season with Newcastle United. So there's a bit of a retro flashback there with the kit, which is a nice touch. I personally prefer it with more stripes, but I understand what they were trying to go for. Obviously, we're now with Adidas, which means we're going to have these white stripes here, which I'm not too a fan of the white stripes. It's okay, but not fantastic. Then we take a look at the collar. That just looks a bit naff. I'm not a fan of the collar. This main bit with the 3 big stripes, I think they've done that really well. Even though I do prefer more stripes, I feel like it looks pretty decent. And a little touch on the back, it's a bit like the Champions League Newcastle United kit, where you've got that big white box in front of where the stripes will normally go at the back, but it's a big white box. It actually looks pretty decent. I think the number looks really good. The black number with a zigzaggy pattern in it looks really good, and more of a noticeable touch is the retro badge, and that just makes it complete. The back of the kit actually looks good. Originally, I did not like the back, but then a number got put on it, and it actually looks pretty decent. I do still prefer this kit here that I'm wearing, but I think it's a solid kit. It's a good kit. I'm going to give it a B ranking in total. Now, Nottingham Forest is next. I don't really like the sponsor. I mean, straight away, I don't like the sponsor, and it's very similar to their previous kits as well. Looking at this kit, it is the classic Adidas template with the white stripes here and with the weird lines coming up at the sides there. But if we look closer, it's actually got a bit of a pattern, and I believe the pattern resembles the 2 European Championships that Nottingham Forest won. The pattern is 2 stars, and that gives it a bit of an extra boost in the ranking, because I was going to rank it around a C, but now I might rank it higher. And also the pattern looks good with the 2 stars. It's really neat. It looks like a classic Nottingham Forest kit. I'm going to go C+ on this one. Very close to B-. I'm going to go C+. It's a decent kit, but nothing to shout about. Now moving on to Southampton's kit, another newly promoted side. This may be just me, but the sponsor on the front, I actually quite like the design of it. Like, the O looks really good, like it's speeding along. I don't know what the sponsor is. I have no clue. It looks like it could be Bitcoin because it has like a little B in one of the little icons there. But that sponsor, it doesn't look too bad. It's classic red and white Southampton. I don't like the collar. Looks awful. The collar does look awful. I'm actually a bit of a fan of this kit, you know. I think it's a decent one. I've said decent for pretty much all the kits other than a fair few. I quite like this kit. Other than the collar, it's pretty decent. I'm going to go B-. Moving on to Tottenham's kit, and though this looks very much like a kit that I've seen before, it's very Tottenham. I can't really see a mistake with this one. There is pretty much no mistake. It's got the classic AIA, which I quite like that. It's nice and bold. You can see that. I like the red on it, that simple red. It's got the blue on the stripe. I really like it, and there's nothing wrong with the collar. It goes all the way around. I like the multi-stripes at the end of the sleeve. It looks good. I'm happy with this one. I like it. I'm going for a solid B on this one. I could see a bit more flair on it. That might be the difference of it being a B and an A, but I'm going to go for a B. Moving on to West Ham's kit. I don't want to say it again, but it's another A contester. It's another A contested. Just look at it. I would like to see the West Ham actual writing there. I think that's the only flaw. So maybe there is a mistake. In my opinion, maybe that should be a different colour like the burgundy. But overall, there's not really any mistake. The collar is really nice. I love that collar. I like it here. Everything's nice. It's clean. Very good. I'm going for an A+ again. It's another A+. It is superb. Moving on to the last kit to review, Wolverhampton Wanderers kit. What is going on? If you look closely, there is a bit of a pattern in the kind of like yellowy orange of the classic Wolves kit. That's neat. The sleeves of it's neat. I do like the JD Sports on the side there. I think that looks good in black there. The actual Debet logo, I feel like that grey and red bit just looks naff. Just change it and just put black there. It's made by Sudo. I've never heard of Sudo personally. Never ever heard of Sudo. The writing Sudo, I'm not really a fan of just the word Sudo. Just looks a bit out of place there. The Wolverhampton Wanderers badge is in the middle. It looks a bit bad. But other than that, the collar looks good. And if the Wolves badge was, you know, in the right place, it would go much higher. Other than that, it's a bit naff. I'm going to put this C-. Honestly, all these kits I think are good enough. Liverpool is an exception of meh. Same goes to Wolves, is a bit meh. But overall, I'm quite happy with the kits that they've set out. Let me know your thoughts. If you disagree, you could put it in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Have a nice day. Come on, Newcastle United.